The ancient world was full of wonders. There were great pyramids and towering ziggurats. Yet, in the bustling city of Alexandria, there was a different kind of marvel. It was not made of stone or gold, but of something far more potent, knowledge. This was the legendary Library of Alexandria. Imagine, just for a moment, a place where scrolls piled high as far as the eye could see. This was a place where scholars from all corners of the known world came to study and debate. The Library of Alexandria was more than just a building. It was a symbol of the boundless potential of the human mind. Within its walls, history, philosophy, mathematics, and poetry sat side by side. It was a treasure house of human thought and creativity. The library was a beacon, drawing the best and brightest minds to its doors. It stood for generations as a testament to the power of learning. Its very existence hinted at a world where knowledge was power. But this power was not always welcome. The library's story, however, is not just one of triumph. It is also a story of loss, destruction, and the enduring struggle against those who fear the power of ideas. It is a tale as relevant today as it was thousands of years ago. The Library of Alexandria was not just a vast collection of scrolls. It was a living, breathing institution. At its heart were the scholars, the librarians, and the researchers who brought the text to life. They debated, they translated, and they preserved the knowledge of the past for future generations. The library was a place of intense intellectual activity. Imagine walking through its grand halls, the air thick with the smell of papyrus, and the murmur of voices in a dozen different languages. Scholars huddled together, arguing over ancient texts. Scribes meticulously copied scrolls, ensuring their survival for centuries to come. This dedication to knowledge was what made the library so special. It was not enough to simply collect the scrolls. They had to be understood, organized, and made accessible to those who sought their wisdom. This was a monumental task, but the librarians of Alexandria were up to the challenge. They were the curators of knowledge, the keepers of the flame of learning, and in their care, the library flourished. The Library of Alexandria was driven by an insatiable hunger for knowledge. Its agents scoured the known world, seeking out new texts and adding them to the ever-growing collection. No expense was spared in this quest. Ships laden with scrolls sailed into Alexandria's harbor, carrying with them the wisdom of distant lands. One famous story tells of how the library acquired its copies of the Greek tragedies. Ptolemy, the ruler of Egypt, was said to have borrowed the original manuscripts from Athens. He promised to return them, of course, but he had other plans. He had copies made, keeping the originals for the library and sending back the copies to Athens. This relentless pursuit of knowledge, while sometimes ruthless, built the library into the wonder it became. It ensured that Alexandria was not just a repository of Egyptian learning, but a truly global center of knowledge. The library became a melting pot of ideas, a place where the wisdom of East and West could meet and mingle. The Library of Alexandria was more than just a center of learning. It was also a potent symbol of intellectual freedom, and that made it a threat to those in power. Rulers throughout history have understood that knowledge is power. They knew that if people were allowed to think for themselves, to question, and to explore new ideas, then their own authority could be undermined. The library, with its vast collection of diverse thought, represented everything that a tyrant would fear. It was a place where the status quo could be challenged, where new ideas could take root and spread. It is no wonder, then, that the library faced opposition from those who wished to control the flow of information. The very existence of the library was a challenge to those who believed that knowledge should be the exclusive domain of the elite. It stood as a testament to the power of ideas and the danger they posed to those who would keep their people in the dark. Within the library's walls, amidst the scrolls and the scholars, lay discoveries that could shake the very foundations of society. Imagine, just for a moment, the excitement and, the fear, as scholars uncovered ancient texts that challenged long-held beliefs. The library was a place where the past could come to life, sometimes in ways that were, honestly, unsettling or even dangerous. There were texts on astronomy that contradicted the official religious doctrines of the time. There were philosophical treatises that questioned the nature of reality and the existence of the gods. And there were historical accounts that challenged the accepted narratives of the past. For some, This pursuit of truth was dangerous. It threatened their worldview, their authority, and even their very way of life. The library, with its commitment to open inquiry, became a battleground for competing ideologies. The fate of the Library of Alexandria is shrouded in mystery and speculation. We know that it suffered a series of disasters, both natural and man-made. Fires, earthquakes, and wars all took their toll on this repository of knowledge. But perhaps the greatest tragedy was the gradual decline in support for the library. As Alexandria itself declined in importance, so too did its great library. The flow of scholars dwindled, the funding dried up, and the once great institution fell into disrepair. The scrolls, once so carefully preserved, were scattered, lost, or destroyed. What happened to the Library of Alexandria? Was it a sudden catastrophic event or a slow and agonizing decline? The answer, like so much else about the library, remains elusive. We may never know the full story of its destruction. The Library of Alexandria may be gone, but its legacy continues to inspire. It stands as a symbol of the enduring power of knowledge and the importance of preserving our intellectual heritage. Though the scrolls may have turned to ash, the ideas they contained continue to resonate through the ages. The library's spirit lives on in every library, every archive, and every individual who seeks to learn and understand the world around them. It is a reminder that knowledge is a fragile thing, precious and easily lost. The story of the Library of Alexandria is a cautionary tale, but it is also a story of hope. It reminds us that even in the face of destruction and loss, the human thirst for knowledge can never be truly extinguished. The story of the Library of Alexandria is a reminder that the fear of knowledge is not a new phenomenon. Throughout history, there have been those who have sought to control information, to suppress ideas that they deemed dangerous or subversive. They understand that knowledge is power, and they fear the consequences of that power falling into the wrong hands. Even today, in the digital age, we see attempts to censor information, to restrict access to knowledge, and to silence dissenting voices. The internet, with its vast and ever-growing stores of information, has become the new battleground in the fight for intellectual freedom. Why do some fear knowledge? Perhaps they fear what they do not understand. Perhaps they fear the loss of control that comes with an informed and questioning populace. Or perhaps they simply fear the truth itself. The story of the Library of Alexandria is a powerful reminder of the importance of open inquiry, intellectual freedom, and the preservation of knowledge. It is a story that has particular resonance in our own time when these values are increasingly under threat. The library stands as a beacon, reminding us that knowledge is not something to be feared, but something to be cherished, nurtured, and shared freely. It is through knowledge that we understand ourselves and the world around us. It is through knowledge that we progress as a society. The Library of Alexandria may be gone, but its legacy lives on in the countless individuals who continue to seek knowledge, to challenge the status quo, and to build a better future for all. The pursuit of knowledge is a journey, not a destination, and it is a journey that we must all take together.